Okay, let me talk to you. Here we go. It is draft recap time, guys. And we're going to dive right into this. And we're going to talk about the first round of the draft here. We're going to talk about the second round, the third round. I'm just going to give you a recap all the way down the line. What pick I liked, what pick I didn't like. And then I have a special one of you I'm going to really talk about and how you just have to get better at drafting. Like, holy crap. No logic behind some of the picks. Here we go. Let's go ahead and kick it off in the first round. My favorite pick of the first round. And by the way, I will not be picking my picks as favorite picks because all of my picks were fantastic. I crushed this draft. I'm going to dominate you guys this year. But that being said, my favorite pick of the first round was sticking Jason with the San Francisco defense because you didn't show up to the draft. So that's what happens. You get the Niners D. My least favorite pick of the first round, I'm going to have to say Travis Kelce at 4 overall. Jesus Christ. Holy crap. He's 35 years old. He's going to fall off at some point. Maybe it's not this year. But even if he didn't fall off this year, taking him at 4 overall is insanely crazy. He has to compete, not just with the tight ends now, but with Ja'Marr Chase, Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, Austin Eckler, Nick Chubb, Derrick Henry. It's like some of you forget that the object of the game is to score the most points. Now, round 2, my favorite pick of round 2, I'm going to say Stephon Diggs from Tony Jr. I think Stephon Diggs has just as good a shot as finishing as the number 1 wideout in fantasy as any other wideout except for Cooper Kupp or Ja'Marr Chase. And so best pick of the second round, Stephon Diggs, since I can't mention Cooper Kupp. And worst pick of the second round, I'm going to have to go with Brad taking Saquon Barkley. Not because he's not a stud, but because he has bar none the toughest running back schedule in the NFL. I can't see Saquon Barkley living up to a second round price tag. And also, I really don't think he's very incentivized to play through injury this year. Saquon might play a small amount of games. I mean, if he has any little tweaks or injuries, he's going to sit. We're going to try to start speeding this up here. Best pick of the third round, Josh Allen, unquestionably. Tony killing it the first couple rounds. Great selection there in Josh Allen. Well, I'm also going to give a nod to Steve here for Amon-Ra St. Brown. Amon-Ra St. Brown has a very high ceiling, very high floor, absolute steal in the middle of the third round. Worst pick of the second round, hands down, Jalen Hurts over Josh Allen. That was insanely dumb. Again, you got Joe just going with, that's you, Joe. That was you at the draft. Who's going to score more points, Jalen Hurts or Josh Allen? I don't know. Why don't we look back to last year when Josh Allen played half the year with a sprained elbow and scored 50 more points than Jalen Hurts anyway? Stupid pick. Made no sense. Fourth round, favorite pick. I'm going to have to say, if I can't say Jalen Waddle, which I said I wouldn't, I'm going to say Joe Mixon from Steve's team. He's a workhorse running back, solid value in the fourth round. No pick here is really jumping out to me as like super great, but this is the range we're in. Worst pick of the fourth round, gonna have to give the nod to George Kittle. Again, Brad Kittle, fourth round, I don't know, man. Maybe it works out. It's not an egregiously bad pick like most of Joe's picks, but it's still not a good pick. Fifth round, you got favorite pick here. I have to say Miles Sanders for Joe's team, and because it's just the reason it's my favorite is it follows the theme of just being a super shitty pick that's totally indefensible. Worst offense in football. He was like at what, RB18 last year on the goddamn Eagles. They had the best offensive line in football, a crazy good offense. And now he's moving to one of the worst offensive lines in football on a terrible offense. And not only did Joe feel the need to grab him in the 5th round, that's his RB1, and he felt he wanted to handcuff this super shitty situation. So he's using 2 roster spots on this awful situation. So there you go. Favorite pick, Miles Sanders. Least favorite pick, Steve taking Justin Fields. Obviously, I wanted Justin Fields. I wasn't about to reach for him, though, and Steve did reach for him because he took him over some guys that I would not have taken him over. That being said, he has Justin Fields now, and he's probably going to have him all year. I know he drafted him to trade him to me, but I managed to get a guy that's probably better this year in the 8th round. So I'm not going to be trading for Fields. Round 6, and we're just going to go through 8 rounds here, guys. Round 6, favorite pick. Man, you got to love being able to get a workhorse running back in the 6th round, and that's exactly what Jason got with Dameon Pierce. Really regret taking James Conner over Dameon Pierce. I think Dameon Pierce is going to be a stud this year. Least favorite pick, I mean, I can't say – I got to say my least favorite pick is James Conner. I don't really love James Conner. But that being said, James Conner, Cam Akers – Dameon Pierce, the guys going in that range, they're all basically the same guy. They're volume-based RB2s. They're not a shit ton of upside, not a shit ton of downside. They're solid picks in that range, right? Round 7, favorite pick, hands down, was Steve taking Kyle Pitts over TJ Hockenson. What the hell? What are we even doing here, guys? This isn't golf. The low score doesn't win. Kyle Pitts has no business going ahead of TJ Hockenson. And what's really funny about it, Steve took 2 Falcons pass catchers. They don't throw the ball. Are you projecting that they each just get 50% target share? I mean, that's the only way they're going to be relevant. So Kyle Pitts, always a hilarious pick every single year. Least favorite pick, Javonte Williams. Gotta go back to Joe. Holy shit, what a terrible draft. Javonte Williams, so over 70% of the players that suffered an ACL and an LCL tear the next year have a lower body injury. Every single time almost. Except if you're Adrian Peterson, who's just a super freak. Javonte Williams is going to go down. And Joe has no running back depth because he's rostering guys like Chuba Hubbard on his bench. So, terrible selection once again from Joe. Round 8, favorite pick. I'm going to go ahead and say I really, really like Senior getting Khalil Herbert. He's going to have a great start to the season. Now, as the season goes, he's going to lose his job to Roschon Johnson. But Khalil Herbert's going to be a beast early on. He's going to rip off some chunk plays. Going to be very good early on. Least favorite pick. Man, I really hate to keep doing this, but holy crap. Joe took Zach Charbonnet. Here's the other running backs that went in round 8. Kenneth Walker, who's the actual starter for the Seahawks. Rachaad White, Khalil Herbert, Breece Hall, Zach Charbonnet. Which one of these does not belong? Pretty obvious that Charbonnet is the worst pick. So that's all I'm going to give you guys for a draft recap. But my special message is, Joe, you got to do better, man. You got to stop just listening to the footballers or whatever the hell it is you're doing. Change it up. You have an awful team. You drafted terribly. You didn't get value across the board. And if I woke up with your team, I would wake up in a pool of urine and sweat. There's no way I could make it work with your squad. I don't even think I could fix it from this point on. So, Joe, serious contention for GD this year. Everybody else going to be a competitive season. There you go. I'll be back here next week for the week 1 matchup previews and then the recaps later on after I kick Tony Jr.'s ass. There you go, guys. There's your vid. And Hope all of you have a great 9 days before our first NFL football game. Yeah.